or what might be
For everything, yeah.
big right here, you good?
I do have Bluetooth in right now for the iPad, so if you start getting any feedback or anything.
And world.
All right, so first we'll start out with if you could say and spell your name for me.
Vanessa Hollopeder, VANESSAHOLLOPETER.
And your capacity.
Yes.
And so first, I guess just, in general, if you know, just tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm 31 years old. I've been a Lapeer County resident for 27 years. 4 years ago, however, I did relocate out to Emmett County, Hudson, Michigan to be precise. And I'm back down at my home because unfortunately we had no other choice on our behalf but to be back away for the safety of our family.
Yeah, so can you walk us through it all, kind of what happened?
Well, what normally would be maybe a day or so without power, and actually our energy provider, Great Lakes Energy, they're actually amazing. Normally if we have a power outage, we might be out for maybe 6 or 8 hours. We'll have back. They're so amazing. This was different. We lost power the first day of the ice storm at 10 p.m. It got cold. We do, in fact, have 2 sources of heat in our house. Both are fueled by wood. We have a wood furnace down in our basement, but if we don't have power, it's going to radiate, but it can't pull the heat up, so we would warm our furnace. We also have a fireplace in the living room, which was actually what we were utilizing. We had to block off the rest of our house from the living room to try and keep it warm, but unfortunately, it's that time of year where you're running out of your seasoned firewood. So we're actually going through more by using the fireplace. So we're having to mix some of the wood that was down, and we had to cut up in with the seasoned wood that we had to try and heat the house. And unfortunately, between that and dried up gas stations, unable to put fuel in our vehicle, unable to put fuel in the generator to be able to make sure that we could provide safety and security and warmth to our kids during this time, we had no other choice but to evacuate. Everything was covered in ice. We've had ice storms down here, but nothing touches that. Everybody's talking 1 inch. It was closer to 3 inches of ice. We had sleet, we had freezing rain, we had snow. It was incredible and beautiful and the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced at the same time.
Yeah, have you ever seen anything like it before?
No. And it's something that my husband and I said that, you know, as husband and wife, we could have pulled it out. We could have done the struggle. What we were concerned about was our kids. I mean, we've got 3 kids under the age of 12. And it was hard on them. I mean, it's a whole different, you click in survival mode. We went from taking shifts of sleeping and watching the kids and spent time with them to both of us went 2 whole days without sleep. We were both burnt out. So, I mean, we had to do what we had to do.
Yeah, when did you know that you had to, leave and come down here?
We came down here April 1st, and I was getting just enough service to be able to look at the weather, and I seen that we had a second storm cell come in. And being down here, we've had ice storms, so I'm looking at the damage that we're seeing on our own property and looking around our neighbors, and I just knew that it wasn't going to be some 2-week thing even. It was going to take possibly weeks, if not months, to get our power back. The moment that I heard how badly our grid was destroyed, it wasn't that they were going to have to just replace some poles and some line. Our entire electrical grid went down. We lost 3 substations. We lost hundreds of miles of transmission lines, which usually Wolverine, that we're subcontracted with through Great Lakes Energy, usually handles that. And then Great Lakes Energy, they had to replace over 1,000 miles of electric cable and poles, and it takes 2 to 4 hours for each of those poles to get replaced too. And I mean, what we normally go through in a year of replacement, we just went through in a few weeks. So I knew that there was no way that we could have made it. So we got out as soon as we could. We had a 3-hour window between the break of the 2 storms, and we took it.
Yeah, what's some of the devastation that you've seen or that you've heard, that's even still happening now?
So the biggest concern right now is people. Number one, there's streets now. There's streets now everywhere. Even any of the progress that they've made could still be completely taken away if the trees that are currently going to the relaxed state right now from being frozen and having all the moisture and the expanding and contracting and going back, we're gonna have to worry about trees for the rest of the year, quite frankly. The limbs that were down, the trees that broke from the middle up, trees that were uprooting, they can still hit the power lights and break back out. That's another thing that they don't ask. The other thing is, there was a lot of homeowners that were affected by this. People have trees on their cars, they have trees on their houses, they have holes in their roof. There's another reason why we're gathering blankets and clothes is because there's people that have sump crops in their basements and they didn't have any electricity to be able to utilize that. So they had it flood their house, destroy their clothes, their flooring, some appliances. The other thing is that unfortunately some people are getting power back, but at this point we've also had 6 house fires. There's one lady on TikTok as well. She's got blonde hair, bigger glasses, but she's actually local to us, and she's doing everything normal. She's cooking her meals, spending time with her family, and they sell smoke. And they're looking through the house, and they had a transformer, unfortunately, that was not properly grounded, and it surged back into the house and the house on fire. So there's homeowners insurance claims. There's 2 weeks of lost wages. There's people that have emptied everything out. They don't know how they're going to get to work, how they're going to get to work all week. They don't know how they're going to pay their bills. Great Lakes Energy is providing the same amount of days that we were without power as an extension so that people can avoid shutoffs and shutoff notices. You just got to ask for it. They'll make sure to apply it. But this is people, they've lost all of the food in the house. There's pantries in our community that have dried up. The resources we would normally depend on if you're in that position, they're struggling. It's a community as a whole on every level from bottom to top, and there's still small communities that have populations of less than 1,500 even, that they're hurting. They didn't get the, any supplies that everybody else had. They can't make it out of their house. There's people that are disabled. I mean, right now we need every bit of hope and community togetherness that we can possibly have.
Yeah, so how have you felt about do you think that the response, that Northern Michigan has received so far, how do you feel about the response so far?
I will say this, our first responders have done an amazing job. Our sheriff of Emmett County has done an amazing job. Purcell Isle has done an amazing job. There is a deputy that I want to thank you for being very, very forthcoming. Deputy Dawn of Emmett County Sheriff's Office has been amazing. Our local community, how they came together, and our county officials did absolutely amazing. Senator DeMoose, absolutely amazing. Parker Fairbairn, he's our state representative up there, absolutely amazing. Beyond that, and I don't just speak for myself here, I'm not impressed with our governor. I share the same feeling. We feel that it was more of, I've come up here, she's done a photo op, essentially. She did declare the state of emergency, which will help us with some things, like if I have to call T-Mobile or it's been my phone bill. But we didn't get any funding. The linemen came up. National Guard came up, but what people don't understand is National Guard came up and they helped disperse things that were already up there, and they helped clean up the debris, and they helped with our electrical grid. But we don't have anything else coming up there. This has been a grassroots situation where communities are reaching out to communities. This has been local. This has been nothing beyond our senator and beyond our state representative. No, I don't feel that we're heard. I don't feel that we're seen. I don't feel that people understand. And we feel like there's actually no help, that if we don't do it, no one else is going to.
So you were taking matters into your own hands, collecting supplies to take
Yes.
there. Can you talk about that with us?
Well, as we stand here, we're standing in Hillside Discipleship Church. This is a church that back when I was 13, I'm 31 now, we were on Barringer Road, just east of Daly Road in Lapeer County. We started out as a very small church, just a basement that's even half the size of this, and just main floor, and we came together as a community and we brought together this bigger church. So I seen the light on the second day I came down here, and I pulled in the parking lot, and Candy was here, which is the pastor's wife, and I spoke with our new pastor, who's part-time, Justin. He's been amazing. very supportive, and I just simply asked, hey, I would like to collect donations for my community. And they said, absolutely, use whatever space you need to. I got a hold of Valerie's Gallery, was networking where I could. They gave me the rest of their winter inventory. New to You consignment was absolutely amazing. That's where this one right here came from Valerie's Gallery. Everything else came from New to You consignment that you see in bags. And then all of the boxes, I reached out to the Pregnancy Resource Center, like any other mother would around here, because I'm worried about the parents up there, maybe their minds at ease, as well as the children up there. They don't need to feel that struggle. They have enough on their plates, and that's why we left, and that's what I'm hurting for up there. So I asked our community members what we need, and we are doing everything specifically. So there's some specific items in here that are for specific people to make sure that they're going to be okay, and the rest of the speech is for someone's community that need it. But I just went to where I knew I would go and asked them if they would be able to, and they gave more than I expected. But we're going to need more, and our expectations of the goal now is that of dry food goods, like we have right here. So we have dry goods, non-perishable food items, if we can get that going up so that people aren't feeling the hurt every time that they go to provide a meal for the family.
Yeah, kind of going off that, what are some of the needs that you have right now that people can cope with?
We need fuel cards to understand in that there is Meyer gas station up there, there is Marathon, there's BP, there is Shell. That is the 4 main companies up there that if you'd like to do fuel cards to do that. There is also Anthony Hudson that I'm working with as well. He's also taken in donations as well, and we're working on getting items up there with him as well, and he's been a tremendous support in this. But right now it's just dry food goods, and if you can, where you can, we're not asking for any type of money donations ourselves right now. This is just fuel cards and non-perishable food items, because that's what people need the most right now. They need to be able to eat, and they need to go to work, and then they need to go get help if they need to medically right now.
Yeah, and so, you know, where are you going to be distributing the supplies, or how, like, what communities, you know, are you going to be trying to help?
So, honestly, my first order as a community member out there would be places like first on the list is going to be Onaway. We need help in Indian River. We need help in Wolverine very badly. They may be right off of I-75, but they're a very small town, and even on a daily basis before this, I mean, they're always honestly forgotten. There's places like Lansing, you have Goodhart, you have Pelston, you have Afton, Elmira. Those are going to be the places that we look at. Mackinac City is pretty well fine. They're larger. Sheboygan is silver. A lot of Sheboygan County is really pretty right now. I'm not more aware of the southern counties as I haven't been up there, and I've only been up there for 4 years. But in Antrim County, Otsego County, Charlevoix, Sheboygan, and Emmett is going to be my personal focus. And then if anybody else goes to any other places, just simply reach out.
You know, you yourself, you've been impacted by this ice storm, you know, so why are, you know, I guess, you know, why was it important for you, though, to be able to help other people, you know, while you're also doing for this?
I refuse to be down here doing nothing. I may be comfortable, but I know family and friends and neighbors right now that are not comfortable. They're wondering, are we going to lose power again? How am I going to get to work? How am I going to pay these bills? How am I going to repair my house? You know, I'm grateful that I don't have to deal with that right now. I'm down here surrounded with families and green grass, and it's nice enough to wear a sweater today, but they still have it around them. And I'm at some point going to have to go back out there, and we have customers up there. My husband's a local business owner in the trade, so I mean, I can't just sit down here. My community needs somebody, and so far there really hasn't been any coverage on it, so I will be their mouthpiece.
Yeah, so, you know, what are you taking, have you already taken supplies up there, or when's the first?
Some supplies have already gone up. This was supposed to go today, and that's something that I'm working with Anthony on. Whatever it takes, honestly, I don't care if I have to start creating pirate ads on Facebook. So, hey, if you've got a truck and you can vet this, and I can do a background check and make sure you're right, we got to worry about nothing, and networking with people up there. I will pay people to be able to take this stuff up there because my community needs it.
Yeah, how, and then going off that, you know, how can people help? What kind of help are you looking for?
So right now, the easiest way to get in touch is you can either get in touch with Anthony Hudson. He's on Facebook, he's on TikTok. He's awesome. Myself. There is coffee, just like the drink with V, and then Vanessa 2024@gmail.com is an email. There's my personal cell phone number. I will answer the phone, leave a voicemail if I don't answer. Voicemail is great to text. I have no shame. I don't care. 810-922-9241. I have Coffee with Me on Facebook. I have Vanessa Hello Peter on Facebook. Let's be friends. Let's help each other out. We're essentially doing the grassroots, community to community, special request Amazon without the Amazon.
Yeah, so how long will you be collecting supplies for?
As long as my community needs me.
And people who want to drop off supplies, they can drop it off here.
Yes.
And, I want to ask you, the people down here, what should they really know about what's going on up there? What do you want them to know and understand?
It's different up there than it is down here. We have I-75, we have Traverse City, we have Mackinac City, but Mackinac really doesn't provide much. We have Gaylord, so our two main hubs up there is Traverse City and Gaylord. Gaylord was devastated not only by the ice storms, but the second day of the ice storms, they had a small tornado. Traverse City has been the main hub. We've had hotels that were completely booked out between Lyman and Louis residents. They've been feeling this all the way. But it's not like it is down here. Down here, where we're at right now, we have M24, which is the main vein to Lapeer, Lake Orion, Oxford. The farther south you go, the bigger the city gets. The bigger the population gets, the more availability you have of supplies and necessities. Then you have I-69, it's the same thing. We don't have it up there. We have I-75 and we have 31, and we have two main cities, and stuff still, it's not prepared for something like this. And it's a long way to go, and we don't have factories up there, we don't have nonstop stores up there, so also employment is limited. There's more small businesses up there than anything, and they've been affected too. So our communities across 10 counties are going to feel this all the way through the summer. If they don't feel it by the geographical standpoint of what's surrounding us, they're going to feel it through the economy, they're going to feel it financially. The thing is that they're not aware down here, and you can't even talk about it without a political divide. This isn't about political division, this is about community coming together. It's not about red or blue, it's about red, white, and blue, and everybody matters, and it shouldn't matter beyond that. People need help, let's get it to them, let's network together. Let's stand Michigan strong, let's show them why we're a swing state. Let's show them what a community can do, even if they don't get federal funding.
And finally, is there anything else you'd like to say or add?
Thank you to my community for trusting in me, and thank you for reaching out to me so I can give you guys a voice. Thank you guys for covering this, and thank you to Anthony Hudson, because no matter what, anytime I call this man, he answers, and today he came all the way out. So we're trying. Thank you.